Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media production. Today we are discussing the Better Call Saul series finale reaction. This is not a review, but we are going to discuss spoilers and, little nitpicks about the entire series, as well as the Breaking Bad universe as well, since this is a prequel to the show. So just saying that up front. Um, Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk, Tim Wexler, you got the Howard Hamlins, you got the Lalos, the Nachos, the Vince Gilligans, and Peter Golds of the world, making some really amazing stuff. What can I say about Better Call Saul that has not already been said? This is probably, without a doubt, a technical achievement of having consistently some of the highest rated, most notoriously crafted pieces of media that have come out over the past 20 years. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul both dominate the technicals of storytelling achievement, from the acting to the story, to the cinematography, to the storytelling, to the writing, to just overall delivering an amazing story that feels natural. By now, you would have watched the finale of Better Call Saul, and you know what happens. Saul ends up in jail. Saul um, basically spills the beans at the very end of himself, but kind of ends up exactly where he deserves. He is found in a dumpster, and as soon as he jumps in that, I knew that that's exactly what was going to happen. I was like, this is going to be the story of, the man that has just gone into such a descent that he is found at literally the bottom of the dumpster. So that, I gotta say, the way that this ended was so fulfilling for me personally. I wanted to try to articulate why this felt natural to the storytelling of it all. Like, a lot of people have watched television shows, enjoyed 60, 70, 80% of the show, and then the last few episodes they'll just shit the bed like that. So I like to take praise in the craftsmanship that is shown in this show, just from the technicals of being able to steer us in one of the most interesting looking, dynamically shot shows in the past 20 years that I've watched. And not only that, but land the plane smoothly in a way that feels naturalistic towards a natural ending point. And so, with saying that, I was just really fulfilled with the ending. I felt like everything generally felt like it was falling into place perfectly. I always had tremendous respect for the writers and creators of the show, but seeing them not only do it with Breaking Bad, how Breaking Bad ended, but seeing them do it in another light, or the way that Breaking Bad ended was such a, guns up, blaze them up, shoot them up kind of deal, with Heisenberg, going out and kind of the quote unquote blades of glory, even though, we most of us were not rooting for him at that time. By that point, this is way more of a subtle and, I think, smart and intricate layered ending that makes sense to the character of Saul. I know that if you listen to the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul podcast with all of the creators, Vince Gill, Peter Gould, Chris McCaleb, and created by Kelly McDonald, I believe. They essentially go through, they explain how much thought they had given towards the end of this show, and you can see it in the craftsmanship. Now, I think that maybe one or two people might have a few gripes about it not being a flashy enough ending. I mean, Bob Odenkirk even addresses that in the podcast as well, on the series finale podcast. Should there have been a more quote unquote explosive fireworks ending? And I personally think that it ended, right on par. I really don't have many gripes with the way this ended. And I believe, having Kim kind of steering back into the law, there's kind of the door is open to having possibility of more work or more content shown down the line with the Kim story. But honestly, I think the Breaking Bad universe is kind of tidy and neat at this point. If anything, if we had any additional stuff, I'm not craving for additional Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad material at this point, or El Camino at this point, because having the movie in between. Um, but we've been going along this journey since Heisenberg started us back in, I want to say it was like '06 or '07. Maybe I'm a little bit early on that, but like I said, this is a very off the dome, uh, little cast right here. But yeah, I want to say that the reason that this Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul works so well is because the creators genuinely care and feel earnest towards this work. It feels like they just enjoy what they're doing, and they put themselves in challenging situations, write themselves in a box in ways that make it interesting for the viewer to say, how are they going to get out of this next? And not only that, they're bringing the emotional ties of the characters with them as well, and then the actors are able to deliver it, and the direction is just impeccable. There's so many good things about this show. Can't recommend it enough. If for some reason you're watching this and you're like, should I watch it? And I think it's absolutely worth the journey. If you hell, I've even thought about going back and rewatching the Breaking Bad series and kind of having a more formal review on it. But all in good time. Content, is hard to consume with all this content coming down the pipes. But yeah. Speaking of content coming down the pipes, we just reviewed the new Jordan Peele movie Nope. We also reviewed the new Netflix Jamie Foxx, Dave Franco joint called Day Shift. That was quite interesting to say the least. Some good action, I guess. So check those out. Let me know what you thought about the reaction. Let me know what you thought about the Better Call Saul Breaking Bad series finale. I think that this is a very it doesn't it's a unique moment because there's very rarely do we have uh golden quote unquote golden television shows, such as Breaking Bad, shown just basically perfect seasons after perfect seasons, despite minor gripes, but they're pretty damn good. And then having a prequel coming after that, and it just being almost lining up perfectly behind it in correlation to how the story is, and it still making sense and giving depth and interesting aspects to the characters, that isn't saying what's the how did Han Solo get his name? Oh, well, he was he arrived, alone, solo. It's like, okay, no, it's nothing anything like that, and that's why it feels like way more genuine with the care. So on that note, thank you for listening, watching Better Call Saul reaction on LuckyDog Podcast. Be sure to check out the reviews on LuckyDogPodcast.com, available on SoundCloud, all your favorite podcast providers, on YouTube as well. And you know what to do. Better Call Saul.